order of operations order of operation. Now, because you could have the same problem and get two different answers depending on how you do it. For example, 5 plus 8 times 2. If I gave you that problem, you could do it from left to right. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 times 2 is 26. And get that as an answer. Or some of you might like to get rid of the multiplication first. And 2 times 8 is 16, and 16 plus 5 is 21. Since you'd get two different answers, somebody in the beautiful world of mathematics said, we need to write down the order in which, when you're given a choice, you're going to do math problems. Okay? And apparently they had an aunt whose name was Sally, because if you follow the order of operations, it follows this little path here. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Kind of a way for you to remember the order in which you're supposed to do things. The first thing you're supposed to do is anything in parentheses or any type of grouping symbol. Next would be what the letter E stands for, Maddie? Exponents or powers or roots. Exponents, powers, or roots. Or roots, if you're a farmer, I guess. The M and the D stand for what? Brianna Massey? Yes, multiplication and division. And again, you have to put, at the end of this, you have to put from left to right. And then the Aunt Sally part is addition and subtraction from left to right. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You can come up with your own if you don't think that's clever enough, but that's typically what math people show up out there. I'm going to let you finish writing that before I switch screens. And then I shall give you a for example. Are you ready for the for example? Here is for example. Problem straight out of the book. 20 minus 2 times 3 squared plus, in parentheses, 7 plus 8 divided by 5. You got that? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And this is what you should do. Please don't cut corners. You're going to write this problem down on your homework, and then you're going to follow it one step at a time. So check mark off. The first thing we see are the parentheses. Yes. So I need to do this first. 7 plus 8 is 15, correct? So I have 20 minus 2 times 3 squared plus 15 divided by 5. Next on the list is exponents or powers. Is there an exponent or power? It's right there. I'll rewrite this. 20 minus 2. What is 3 to the second power? Don't say 6. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 15 divided by 5. Then you must do multiplication and division. Multiplication and division fall on the same level. You don't do one over the other, but you do them from left to right. So the first thing I come to is this one, which is 2 times 9. So it ends up being 20 minus 18 Next one I come to is 15 divided by 5, which is 3. There's my multiplication division. Okay. Now here's one I see people make mistakes with all the time. It'll be a subtraction, not this one because it doesn't make as much sense, but what I might see is this. If this would have happened to have been a 2, I see a lot of people go, oh, 18 plus 2 is 20 and 20 minus 20 is 0. You can't do that. You have to do them from left to right. That's not, you're going to get the wrong answer if you do that. This was a 3. You need to do 20 minus 18 first, which is 2, and then 2 plus 3 is 5. If you do your order of operations correctly, in the end you'll have what I like to call the twister effect, that your little thing gets wrapped and worked all the way down till it makes a nice little tornado looking sort of shape there. Please don't skip steps and go right from here and do like all 3 right away and do that. You're just going to hurt yourself in the end. There's not too many of you that are that good at math where you would not find yourself making some sort of mistake there. Isn't that exciting, really, for a Monday? I know that's a lot to take for a Monday. Now, here is another example that you have to be careful with, because that was a pretty simple one because you just have one example kind of each thing. But a lot of times you'll find grouping symbols inside of grouping symbols, which makes things a little goofy. Write down this problem right here. Above the brace. Oh, 8 minus 6, sorry. It should be an 8 minus 6 minus 5 minus 3. My bad. My favorite symbol didn't work very well for me. Oh, Mitch, how do I keep putting you in the back of the room? I need you to switch with somebody here. Fish, switch with Mitch. How's your eyesight? Okay?
It's okay.
No, it isn't. Switch with Mitch. It's not okay when you have to squint. Believe me, you're talking to a guy that's eyes are as bad as anybody's. Even worse than most. I'll try to write bigger for that. Okay, so here's the deal with this, ladies and gentlemen. You will see in my please excuse my dear Aunt Sally little, what do we call that? Way of doing things is called a what? Algorithm. My little algorithm there. Then if you look at parentheses or grouping symbols, you have 1, 2, 3 sets of grouping symbols. Okay? And what really, in order to do that, what you have to do is you start inside the innermost grouping symbol and work your way back out. Okay, in other words, you have to go, okay, well here's the grouping symbol. Inside this grouping symbol, I have to follow the order of operations until I get it down to one number. Well, inside the next thing I would do is these grouping symbols. Well, following order of operations inside those grouping symbols puts me at this. I have to do this middle one first. And 5 minus 3 is 2. So you have this now. And I know you won't like this, but that's the reason you don't get 8,000 problems a day to do as homework. I've gotten rid of that grouping symbol. So now I go to the innermost grouping symbol there, which is this one. And I have to do 6 minus 2, which is 4. It gets rid of those brackets. Now I'm left with my lovely brace. Okay. And then I have to do inside the brace first before I do the 10 minus. 8 minus 4 is 4. And then 10 minus 4 is 6. And once again, you'll find yourself with the twister effect here, where this goes down. I just have to draw that other picture there. Feel free to put a nice cloud around your 6, arrows pointing to signify that that's your answer, so you can't miss it. Whatever you have to do. Twitch, you're saying, we are ready for one. Oh, yes. Sorry, we're not ready for one. A couple more examples. If you see something like this, have we done absolute value yet?
No.
Perfect. I'm glad I saw this because otherwise. If you see problems like that, these are three different examples of grouping symbols that you don't usually think about. Absolute value signs are grouping symbols. The square root or the radical sign there is a grouping symbol, as is a fraction bar. It's a grouping symbol. Okay? I'll let you write that down before you internalize this, because I see way too many people get this wrong. A lot of people think the answer to this is 9 because they say, well, absolute value makes everything positive. Yes, it does. But before you do the absolute value sign, you have to actually simplify this. You have to do 2 minus 7 first, which is a negative 5. And now, after you get it down to one thing, then you take its absolute value. The answer to this is a normal 5. You don't change both of these to positive and then do the work. The grouping symbol only applies after you've done what's inside them and gotten it down to one number. The same thing with this, okay? This is not, you don't take the square root of 9 and get 3, and then the square root of 16 and get 4 and say the answer is 7. You think about this as a grouping symbol. Well, 9 plus 16 is, wow, the square root of 25, and the square root of 25 is 5. You have to do what's inside of it first before you do that. Same thing here. You don't take 3 into 12 and get 4, and 3 into 12 and get 4, and then 4 times 4 is 16. This is a grouping symbol, which means you have to do this as one thing, you get 144. Add 3 plus 3, you get 6. And then you divide 6 into 144, which is what? 24, I believe. Got that? Those are three very, very, very common mistakes that people make. You always, always, always do the grouping symbol last part of things. That's last, after value last, division last there. Now, with that behind us and life ahead of us, here we go. Let's do a problem here. Let's see about this one. Let me give you one here. Do this problem for 10 minus bracket h minus 6 minus 3. So just, yeah. What would be your answer to that problem there? Write that down if you would please. Solve, do, enjoy. God bless you. Lady Kavarik says,
5.
I have no idea, is it 9? Let's see. You do 6 minus 3 first, which is 3, right? So you have then 8 minus 3, 10 minus 8 minus 3 is 5, and then 10 minus 5 is 5. One more you ask, you say? Oh yeah, let's do this one. Ready? The big challenge of the day. 4 plus 11 minus 3 squared times 2 cubed. 4 plus in parentheses, 11 minus 3 squared in parentheses, 1 times 2 cubed. Which would end up giving us, what high would you come up with there, 20? Anybody else on the 20 bandwagon? I may not get 20? Cameron, what'd you get? Huh? 8?
Oh, is that too cute?
It is too cute. Uh-oh, he's right there. So here's what it will look like. First thing you do are parentheses, but inside the parentheses you have to do order of operations. So the first thing you should do inside the parentheses is that exponent of 3. 3 squared is 9. And 10 minus 9 is 1. So now it's 4 plus 1.
This should be 11.
Oh, where'd that come from? Sorry about that. My first mistake of the year. And 2 cubed is 8, correct? And here again is where a lot of people would make mistakes. They'd go, oh, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 times 8 is 48. Can't do that. Have to do multiplication first. 2 times 8 is 16. 4 plus 16 is 20. Yes, yes, and more yeses.